What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to our quick tips drill series, where we try and point out some issues we see with our hitters in our lessons and give you guys some solutions to fix them with your hitters. So before we get into the issues that we see, I'm gonna preface all this by saying if you're 6'4", 230 or the size of a major league hitter, you can afford to make mistakes and still have success at the plate. What we're trying to do in this video is eliminate unnecessary movements and give you the easiest and simplest swing and set you up to have success at the plate. So with the goal in mind of keeping our swing simple, today we're going to be talking about where exactly we want our bat at our setup and launch position. There are two angles that we keep in mind that we prefer, and the first one that we talk about with our hitters is on this plane right here, having our bat at 45 degrees, and then also on this plane right here, we want our bat again at 45 degrees, so that at our setup and launch, we're right there. So let's talk about why we prefer this setup for our hitters. To start off, I think we can all agree that the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line, but hitting is rotational, so we want to apply that logic to the swing. And the way that we do that is refer to it as swing plane. We want the shortest and straightest swing plane. So an example of that is when I'm in my setup, I have my bat at a 45-degree angle, and I load and I get to my launch position and it's still in that same spot. And then it's just getting to contact. Nothing needs to change. It is very short and simple. One example that we would look to avoid is we're starting here, and then as we get to our launch position, our bat goes up. And what that does is we need to then bring it back down and into the swing plane. It's making our swing longer and it's not simplified. So we want to keep it short and simple. This single plane that we're talking about, what does it do? It accomplishes a couple of things. Number one is our swing is going to be shorter. We're going to produce more bat speed because we're working towards the ball the entire swing. We're going to be on plane longer, again, because we're on that single plane, which will result in more consistent contact. And then lastly, and this might be the most important one, is it's going to reduce the size of adjustments we need to make when we're hitting. So when I get to the hitting zone, if it's a high pitch or low pitch, adjusting to it from the middle is going to be much easier than from top to bottom or bottom to top. Now that we've explained the concept of a single plane, we're going to talk about what exact angle we want to start at and why. Generally, the bat is going to follow the plane that it starts on. So if I have a flat bat like this, I'm going to swing it and it's going to be relatively flatter through the zone, which is great for high pitches. If I have a steeper bat angle, it's going to be lower, and it's going to be great for low pitches. What we want to do is get the bat into a 45-degree angle. And what this does is when we get to contact, it's going to split the zone in the middle. So if we need to adjust for a high pitch or adjust for a low pitch, that adjustment is going to be minimal. So when we're setting up, we just want to make sure that our bat is at 45 so that we can get to the middle of the zone. We've talked about the angle that we want on this plane right here. Now we're going to talk about the second angle that we're looking for, and that is on this plane right here. What we look for with our hitters is to create a 90-degree angle from the bat to your forearm, so that when you get into your setup, the barrel is going to be behind your head and the knob is going to be pointed at the catcher. The reason that we want to do this is because we want to create stored energies so that we can generate as much bat speed as we can to contact. But it goes both ways. If we go too far, our swing becomes way too long. And if we have the bat over our shoulder or back, your swing is going to be quicker, but you're not going to generate as much power as you could. So we recommend having that 90-degree angle and keep it there. So there are 3 ways that you can practice making sure that you're getting into the correct setup position. Number one is if you have a mirror, taking dry swings in front of it, or at the very least, practice getting into your setup and just loading and striding into that launch position. Doing it from this angle and watching to make sure that this plane is correct and then also from the front to make sure that this is at 45 as well. The second thing you can do is if you're in BP or in a situation where you have a catcher, just make a conscious effort to have your knob pointed at the catcher. And then the last option, which is probably going to be the most beneficial, is if you have a swing path trainer, set it up for a middle pitch, and all you're going to do is get into your contact position and simply follow the swing plane back to your setup. And so just doing this over and over again, just to get a feel for that swing plane and where your setup should be. That's a wrap on bat angles. Those are just two small changes that we make with our hitters, and we see significant and rapid improvement with their contact rate. So give it a shot with your hitters, see how it works for them. If you have any suggestions for future videos or any questions about what we talked about today, leave it in the comments below. Make sure you like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.